Hello again, welcome to South Tonight, coming to you from the Hunt Museum in Limerick. And seeing as we are in Limerick all this week, we've got an array of Limerick guests for you to meet. Like tonight, we're going to be finding out more about the Fresh Film Festival. That's happening here in a couple of weeks' time. And it's no ordinary film festival because it gives young people aged 12 to 18 the chance to make their own films. So that's quite special. But first, on a financial note, last week we had a look at the issue of home insurance, and we found it to be such a huge issue that we really thought we'd have to return to it again this evening. So I'm joined once again by Jerry Owens from Mobile Mortgages. Hello, Jerry.
Martina, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, as you know, last week we did discuss property insurance, and a viewer, first of all, has written in asking for an explanation as to what is or is not considered contents.
Contents would be defined as items you can take out of the house. Like the furniture we're sitting on can be taken out. Fitted furniture wouldn't be considered contents to be part of buildings. Your toiletries in the bathroom, the washroom, the sink, the bath, the toilet, they're part of the buildings. The white goods in the kitchen, your fridge, freezer, your cooker, they can be taken out and they would be considered contents. Your wooden floor would probably be considered buildings because really you can't take the wooden floor up. So it's anything you can take out of the house would be considered, strictly speaking, contents, and anything that you can't take out easily would be considered fixtures, fittings and part of the buildings.
All right, so I mean, I would have thought that too, but then it does require further thinking when you say things like, you know, the fitted kitchen, you know, I would have thought of that as being contents, but obviously it's not.
It's not, but there is an important issue to look at here. If you have a non-standard kitchen, you know, granite worktops, special wood in the doors, you must allow for that in the figure you put in as what the building's cover is. For example, most insurance companies will insure the building sum assured at maybe €150 per square foot to build. That's standard construction. If you have outside standard construction, special designs, special wooden floors, you must allow for additional cost in the building's figure. Now, it might only be 20,000 to cover that, but it wouldn't necessarily be included in the standard because all the insurance company is doing is saying we will replace the property if it's totally destroyed using modern building construction methods using standard materials.
And when we're renewing our policies every year, should we go and price all the goods in our house? Should we go to furniture shops and price what new furniture would cost should we need to replace them?
Well, not necessarily unless you've made a material change during the course of the year. But some people have a huge difficulty in trying to put a value on their contents. And look, it is no harm to go from room to room and say, right, I have a bed, I have a carpet, I have a curtain, I have a wardrobe. If it's not fitted, leave it alone. All right? And put a price on those. Now, it's not difficult to go to a telephone directory, pull out a furniture store and say, what is the cost of these items? It just gives you an idea of what the value is. Because most insurance companies now insure a percentage of the buildings and on that basis will charge you a premium. For people starting off, it might be 15% of the building sum assured. So if your sum assured is 200,000, 15% will give you contents of 30 on the basis that it's a new house with little furniture, little contents. But then if you're somebody who's maybe 45 years of age, has reared a family of 4 or 5 people, now they are going to have maybe 20 years of accumulations of contents, dining room suites, sitting room suites, TVs, videos, you name it, they have it in the house.
All right.
And therefore they may need to take that into consideration.
What about clothes? Because that's something you can take away with you, but I don't know, do we put those in our policies?
They would be covered under the generality of a percentage of your building sum assured. So if you have a house that's worth, again, 200,000, you may, at a certain age in your life, say, well, I need to increase my contents figure in that figure to 35%, which would be 70,000. And that's covering your carpets, your curtains, anything you can take out of the house, your cameras, your video machine, your TV, and your clothes. Now, a lot of people can overvalue because you don't wear all your clothes. But you might say, well, okay, if I was replacing these clothes, I might spend 50% of what the real value is. And then value is a very difficult figure because the clothes will be out of fashion.
What about sentimental items? Because they have great importance to people, but they can't necessarily be replaced, can they?
They can't. And strictly speaking, again, in that area, the insurance company is covering the replacement of the item. And it's very important to keep in mind the policy excess. Okay, so if you had 2 or 3 items that were broken in the house as part of contents, it might be a vase, all right? You might have a glass top table. They're 2 separate items. And the policy excess will apply to each item because each item is its own claim.
Okay. Okay.
Now, in a fire situation, then it's total destruction, and therefore it's going to be complete replacement of the property and also a complete replacement of the contents. Now, I doubt anybody could remember all of their contents. They'll forget things. But you're right, pictures are a sentimental item. They only really have value for the person who's in the photograph or the people around them, and you can't replace that.
Another viewer has written in asking, what is all risks cover?
That's what's covering all of your property outside the home that you wear on your back. It's going to cover your engagement rings, your cameras, your glasses. And to put it in context, if you have a good engagement ring and you go to a hotel and then you go to the bathroom in the hotel to wash your hands, okay, you take off your engagement ring, you put it in the thing on the soap stand, you wash your hands, you dry your hands, someone's with you, they disturb you, they're talking to you, you walk out the door, and 10 minutes later you realise, where's my ring? You go back to the bathroom and you find the ring is gone.
Right.
Now, someone has taken that. Is it lost or is it stolen? You don't know. Doesn't matter. Bottom line is it's gone. If you haven't got all risk cover, it's gone. If you have all risk cover, you can put your claim in. Obviously, you're going to go to the proprietors and say, look, my ring was taken inside in the bathroom. I left it down. Silly, but look, do you have... They don't have cameras in there, so they can't identify who took it. So you don't have a cover. Now, in addition to that, you can also get all risk cover inside the home, because you do have people who lose rings down plug holes or whatever it is, and if it's gone, you make your claim and you say, look, I had it one day, next day it's gone. I don't know where it's gone to. So it's lost inside the home.
Okay, now just finally, because we're running out of time, there's a couple of other things. Personal risk and accidental damage. Could you sum those ones up for us?
Again, in terms of accidental damage, it is where somebody walks into your house and they're having a bit of a party and somebody trips over something, falls over against somebody else who knocks a glass of water, maybe down the back of a TV. That's accidental damage. Okay, nobody expected it to happen, it happened. Personal accident then is where, for instance, you might do something totally unintentionally which causes damage to someone else's property. Now, to put it in an analogy, let's say you're playing golf and you sky a ball into the car park of the golf club and you break somebody's windscreen. That can be claimed on your house insurance policy.
Okay, right. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up there, unfortunately. And I know we could get back to this again. We really have only, again, touched the surface. But thank you very much, Jerry.
No problem.
And after months of financial issues here now on South Tonight, we're going to rest it for a while. I'm sure we'll return to it, though, again, at some stage, and maybe pick up on home insurance once again. Huge, huge issue. But we hope that we've been a bit of help in relation to taxes and mortgage issues and all that. And now we want to help with your fitness. So we're going to be starting a new health and fitness slot next Monday on the show. So if you haven't kept your New Year's resolutions yet, don't worry, it's never too late to restart, okay? We're going to have that on the show next Monday, so join us for that. But anyway, we're here in Limerick all this week for South Tonight, and the Fresh Film Festival is happening here in just a few weeks' time, just towards the end of this month. To tell me more about it, I'm going to be joined by Jane Foley. She is the Artistic Director of the festival, and that is in part 2 of the show.